My name is Bukola Jodogo, fondly referred to as Kiki, and I'm the founder of Joshua's Army. Thank you so much again for stopping over on my channel. If you're returning, and if this is your first time, you're an answer to prayer. So thank you for coming. Now, in the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about perfectionism in parenting and how we expect our teenage boys to be perfect, and then the pitfall in all of those perfectionism and perfecting and perfection and everything being perfect. Now, last week I think we talked about unconditional love, and this week we're going to be talking about the switch from encouragement to condemnation. And why am I talking about the switch from encouragement to condemnation? As you know, I've got two teenage boys who are speedily becoming adults, amazingly so. And so when I look at them, I reflect a lot, at the things that happen around us, and how we're growing and what we're learning from our daily experiences. And I can't remember what happened a few weeks ago. I was just staring at my youngest son, and I was looking at him, and I remember how, I think it was my oldest son, it was my oldest son. And I remember when he was on his first birthday, I was heavily pregnant with his younger brother. Yeah, there's just a couple of, I think about 13 or less than 14 months, 13 months between the two of them. And so I was heavily pregnant with younger brother, and while we were celebrating older brother's birthday, my auntie of blessed memory now bought him a bicycle. So the bicycle was brought, it was just 1 year old, and then he was put on the bicycle, and guess what happened? He just started crying and wailing, and I don't know what was scaring him from being on a bicycle. No, but by just seeing the bicycle, he started crying. 1 year old, why are you crying? Nobody knows. So everybody started pacifying him, and I remember his grandfather giving him his phone to play with, something to distract him while he gets on the bicycle. And I remember that in less than a couple of minutes time, my son got on the bicycle. He not only got on the bicycle, his dad started pushing him around, and guess what? After that, the boy refused to come off the bicycle. And so while I was reflecting, I was just thinking, now if the boy, I think while he got on the bicycle, at some point he tripped over. I don't know what happened, but he tripped over, and we kind of just cheered him on and encouraged him. I think I carried him, he stops crying, and I put him on the bicycle again so he can try again, which he did. Also, now for all of us who are parents, let's think back at that particular, my boys started working when they were about, both of them, when they were about 8 months old or so. They both started working about 8 or before their 9th month birthday. But let's look at while they were working or trying to walk. How did we get up? They will trip over, they will fall down, they will get up again, and we will cheer them on. We want to see the first step, we want to cheer them on. When they trip over, we carry them, make them stop crying, and we put them down again to walk. All of those encouragements, all of those cheering on, we were their best and loudest cheerleaders. What has changed? Why the change? They were toddlers then, trying to walk, which is what toddlers do, trying to ride bicycle, which is what toddlers do, trying to get used to something, trying to get used to a particular taste of food, which is what toddlers do, right? And we encourage them. Now that they're older, they're teenagers, trying to understand what the adult world is about, trying to try things and understand and make decisions for their values and things they want to do in life, trying to understand those subjects in school that they've never done before. How do we cheer them on? Do we cheer them on, or we condemn them, or we make them feel like they're not doing it right? In fairness, teenagehood is hard, and a lot of us know that. But again, from my own experience as a parent of teenage boys, we get carried away by the toughness of those years, just like transiting from adulthood, or as a woman transiting into menopause is hard. For some people, they talk about midlife crisis for men and everything. That, in fairness, it's tough, but we are meant to be there and be the adults for our young stars. And it has been noticed that as children grow older, we begin to switch from empowering them to disempowering them by our comments. Remember the example I gave earlier on about walking, getting on the bicycle, and all of that. When we're not careful and being intentional and be intentional about parenting, we begin to move from empowering to disempowering, and that begins to become an issue for the children. And that's when you hear a lot of teenagers talk about mental health, struggling with mental health issues, struggling with some disorder in their mind and the way they think about themselves, the way they perceive themselves. So, when they're young and they're growing into teenagehood, we should think about how we encourage them. Please do not define your children by their trips. They will trip, they will make mistakes, but we should not define them by those trips, by those mistakes, or else they begin to think they are the challenges or they are the issue. Why is it always about me? Why am I always the challenge or the problem in the house? And then when this goes on for too long, whether we like it or not, it leaves a mark, it leaves scars in the lives of our children. And then those scars begin to translate into negative things, negative outcomes in the lives of our children, mental health issues, low self-esteem, bullying. Yeah, that's how some children become bullies. Bullying, getting into drugs, getting into becoming sex addicts, and so on and so forth. So encourage your children, pull them to you, discipline with the